As Anne said, today we are celebrating 20 years of Westminster's Food for Our Neighbors outreach program. On July 8th, 2002, the inaugural meeting of the Food Collection Group started with the following quote from Barbara Baldridge: "It is unacceptable to God if our worship is not followed by actions. Actions that show mercy, that show justice, that are showing love and kindness." The original group of 5 Westminster members identified that there was a significant need for food donations in Chester County. At the time, there were approximately 110 families receiving emergency food aid. Out of that monthly meeting was born Food for Our Neighbors, a monthly donation program originally supporting Chester County Cares, and then the Westchester Food Cupboard when the Chester County Cares closed in 2009. The Westchester Food Cupboard is 100% volunteer-run organization that currently serves about 1,000 households monthly. Over the past 20 years, Westminster has expanded its support to include fresh vegetables from our gleaning garden, diapers, and monetary donations. None of this would have been possible without the unending support of our congregation. Over the last 20 years, many of you members have volunteered for Food for Our Neighbors, for the Gleaning Garden, and for the Westchester Food Cupboard. If any of you have volunteered, can you please stand up? And if you can remain standing, that would be great. Thank you. So many more of you have donated food, personal care items, diapers, or money to the Westchester Food Cupboard. If any of you have donated anything, can you please stand up? And finally, many of you have prayed for this ministry. If you have prayed for this ministry over the past 20 years, can you please stand up? Can I get a round of applause for all the support we've gotten from this congregation? So you may have noticed when you came in that on the back wall of the sanctuary, there's a banner celebrating 20 years of this ministry. If you have supported this ministry in any way, we would love for you to sign the banner. If you're not here today, it'll be hanging outside of Spelman Hall on the outreach bulletin board until the end of the summer, and we'd like to present it with all of your signatures on that banner in the early fall. So take opportunity to do that. So now we'd like to invite Fiona and Barb up, and we're going to have a presentation for you.
I'm here with Bob Hyde, who is a fellow volunteer at the Food Cupboard, and her husband Tom, who is too shy to come up. I'm sorry that our president, Rob Neckersolmer, is not here this morning. We hope we do him justice this morning. I'm also really happy to see Jane Ash here. She was one of the people who over there who was part of that small group that got together 20 years ago to start the Food for Our Neighbors program. So it's great to see you here today, 20 years on. When Food for Our Neighbors started, who would have imagined that it would have grown to this integral part of the outreach at Westminster? We're so grateful to everybody, as Angela said, everybody who has contributed in some way to this program. And who would have thought back then that food insecurity in our community would still be such a problem? We hoped it wouldn't be, but it is. We thought it was bad that 110 families came every month for food, and today, as she said, we're serving over 1,000 households every month. Because of the pandemic, job losses, the rising cost of living, including the cost of housing and gas, and increases in the cost of food, we're seeing more and more people whose incomes were already stretched, living under enormous stress as they struggle to pay their bills and feed themselves and their families. So we are, as I say, reaching out to people off-site as well as serving people at our food cupboard in South Bolmar Street. And it includes our most recent outreach to provide summer food program for children in Westchester. We are serving currently over 200 children every week at Henderson High School. So in whatever way you have contributed to this program and the development of the wonderful partnership between Westminster and the Westchester Food Cupboard. We cannot thank you enough. Thank you so much for this wonderful relationship and for honoring us today. Thank you.
Westminster has gone beyond just bringing in food and making monetary donations. Excuse me. It has a very active gleaning garden, and the produce we're able to give to our neighbors, and they just love it. They love coming, picking out their produce, whatever they like. So thank you.
Thank you. And now if I can ask Barb and Fiona to come out front, we have a check to present to you. We want to celebrate your 20 years of ministry. And this, the money, I should say, actually comes from Westminster's thrift shop. So come out front. And as the thrift shop makes profits, they donate that back to Westminster's mission fund. And the outreach team voted to share this $5,000 with the Westchester Food Cupboard.